G'day guys and gal. Diversity is the sweet nectar of life, as is Warhammer, so there's no surprises here that the universe of 40k is home to the most diverse platter of white people in any setting. I mean, they have giant white people, small white people, and hairy white people. Warhammer is every SJW's wet dream. However, unfortunately, the universe of 40k is a direct mirror of our own, hence these diverse Abhumans, as they are called, are mocked for their race-related characteristics and sent on the front lines to die in the name of the Emperor. To no one's surprise, these Abhumans are actually quite effective in war, and with the recent release of the new Darktide gameplay trailer, which shows that you can play as an Ogryn, what better time than now to release this video? Now, last video I made a drinking bleach joke at the start, and I wanted to apologise. See, I accidentally edited it wrong so you wouldn't actually see me drinking the bleach when you were supposed to. So here is now the clip that I was supposed to show you. So yeah, my bad guys, I'll make sure I double check my editing next time so those spicy jokes really land home a bit better. Before we get started, congratulations for surviving pretty much all of 2020. As a reward to you for making it, or just because I have a discount code, Surfshark VPN is running a massive 84% off and 4 months free deal just for you guys. Now by this point you probably know about Surfshark and why having a VPN makes you better than your fellow man, but to reiterate, a VPN allows you to mask your online activities while also rerouting your IP to different countries, so now your dream of being a Swedish arms dealer can finally be realised. This rerouting and masking allows you to bypass firewalls, government restrictions, or just lets you pretend you're Australian, which is the biggest perk here I would say. Surfshark VPN is reliable, easy to use, and with the discount you're getting here, cheap as chipperinos. If you still weren't convinced, then Surfshark is running a 30-day money-back guarantee on this promotion, so there's no reason not to give it a shot, unless you already have it, which in that case, buy it as a Christmas gift for your nan, so she can be a Swedish arms dealer. Thank you Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Today we'll go over each of the different Abhumans and what makes them special. We'll then discuss how they're used in the Imperium beyond just hitting a diversity quota. Let's get into it. When humanity first spread amongst the stars, they colonized every planet they could. Now, not every planet is as nice as Earth. Some have enough gravity to pull your balls to the floor, and others have such little gravity that even your fattest mate could pull off a high jump world record. As such, through both natural and forced evolution, various pockets of mankind begun to change. Now, as this change was not caused by chaos, xenos, or tainted mutation, the Imperium has no choice but to accept these Abhumans, otherwise they would look like total twats and lose the support of the powerful humans' right movement that has led the Imperium for a millennium. Yeah, right. In actuality, the Abhumans are welcomed into the Imperium as frontline soldiers due to their various violent advantages. Let's start with the Ogryn because, as the saying goes, the bigger the better. Unless it's a tumour. What do you get when you take the mind of a 9-year-old boy who loves his daddy and put it into the body of the Rock on steroids? A fanatically loyal, powerful and severely retarded yet surprisingly enjoyable beast, aka an Ogryn. These 10-foot tall shock troopers were a result of humans living on harsh, high-gravity prison worlds, which meant only the biggest and strongest could live to pass on their genes. Intelligence wasn't important on these worlds, as only the bare minimum of resources were available, hence primitive instinct triumphed, resulting in the modern-day Ogryn's lack of critical thinking. But critical thinking, or even critical hits, become pretty irrelevant when they hit with a force of 700 9-year-olds. As such, the Ogryn are used as walking tanks, able to push through enemy fire and smash through enemy lines. Not all Ogryns are dumb motherfuckers though. The Boneheads are Ogryn who can count to 10 and can remember their own names. Not the highest standard, but compared to the other Ogryns, they're like Elon Musk. These Ogryns are often the leaders of their squads, and are outfitted with augmentations as well as use a gun. Something quite rare for Ogryns due to how clumsy they are, as well as their lack of understanding about the concept of ammunition conservation. Like, Ogryn guns have a special setting on them which reduces their fire rates so they don't run out of all their ammo in 3 minutes. There are a number of different types of Ogryns. Some are fierce, like the Bullgryns or Bulwarks, some are here for a good time, like the Gunluggers, and some are fucking heretics, like the Plague Ogryns or the Ogryn Berserkers. No matter what Ogryn you face though, the one thing they all have in common is that they will sodomize the shit out of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not all Abhumans are ugly creatures bred for war. Some are ugly creatures that breed for directing Imperial ships through the warp. Despite their ugliness, the navigators are by far the most important abhumans, and I dare say even humans for the Imperium. That is because they, and they alone, can navigate the warp using their third eye. Without a navigator, a ship has next to no chance of surviving a warp jump. It would be like getting teleported into the Mariana Trench with your eyes cut out. It's actually a bit of a sore spot for the Imperium. They hate the warp, mutants, and ugly people, and a navigator is all three in one, yet the Imperium has to suck their cocks, otherwise everything collapses. Hence the navigator houses, as they are called, are some of the richest and most influential people in the entire Imperium. They also live for 400 years, which is pretty neat. Now, as the navigator gene is so precious and the odds of someone mutating into a navigator without that gene is so low, there is a lot of inbreeding that's happened. This, coupled with the fact that these guys are paid to stare into hell, means they aren't always the most normal of people. However, GW's diversity list demanded that some abhumans be host to a variety of neurological issues, so it's a yes in my books. Dwarves are a huge and beloved part of Warhammer Fantasy, so it makes sense that GW try to bring them into 40k as well. Except while they are a noble and proud race of loyal and sturdy people in fantasy, in 40k they're a bunch of midgets who got shat on repeatedly before finally being eaten by a bunch of Tyranids. Before that though, they were a bunch of humans who landed on worlds with insane amounts of gravity and no atmosphere, hence they moved underground and begun to shrink and become more dense. They then also genetically modified themselves to complete this process. Now I've already done a video on the squats, so no need to flick their micro dicks too much here, but it's important to note that some squats did survive the Tyranid invasions, as they went home at the time, and in current lore, squats are canon. They weren't canon for a while, but then GW got told off for excluding little people from the lore. I mean, there were little people, they were called ratlings, but if I was a midget, I wouldn't be too happy about being represented by a race of people named after rats. Now the reason why you're watching this video is because of the next abhuman on this list. The Felinids, which are cat people, which are fairies. Look, I might sell hentai, but I have standards. There is nothing known about the fairies other than the fact that they exist. Likely because GW is the manifestation of a corporate neckbeard. Either that, or they're slowly trying to claim the copyright to fairies. Also, their planet is called Carlos McConnell, for some fucking reason. I'm just gonna go out on a leg and assume it's the name of the retard who injected them into the lore in the first place. A funny contrast now from fantasy, we have the Beastmen Abhumans. When you hear Beastmen, you think about a race of chaotic mutants that need a cheeky genocide, but in 40k they're actually quite chill, and often fought alongside guardsmen. Sure, they were often sent in on suicidal charges, and normal humans didn't hold them in very high regard, but they were brothers in arms on battlefield. Unfortunately, the Imperium has become more and more bigoted over time, and their tolerance for Beastmen has dropped sharply. The Beastmen are on the verge of being declared as mutants instead of abhumans, which means you would become open season on them, hence turning them a lot of them towards chaos. Ironic, considering that the Inquisition is anti them because they think they have chaos within them, but they only embrace chaos when the Inquisition comes after them. Nice. I always wondered if there was a more demeaning and condescending thing to call a little person beyond a midget. Well, GW once again comes in hot with the abhumans, the ratlings. Now when I first heard of them I was like, oh no shit, Skaven are in the Imperium. But no, these are literal hobbits, like they have the hairy ass feet and everything. From what I've read about these guys, they are literally the Lord of the Rings hobbits in space that are really good at sniping. They are also extremely slippery, which helps for running away from literally everything, or just pulling off a few good and sometimes fatal pranks. Now, unlike the majority of abhumans here that mutated due to their unique survival challenges on their home planet, the ratlings mutated because they kept fucking their sisters and drinking bevies all the time. I'm not joking. These guys make the Alabama gene pool look diverse. Unlike the Lord of the Rings hobbits, however, the ratlings die a lot. Due to chaos invasions, their home planet has been ravaged a few times, with over 90% of their population dying. Really doesn't help with the inbreeding situation they've got going on, but considering how fast they breed, it's not really a big deal. Not every abhuman has to be the result of mutation. Some are just selectively bred, such as the Goliaths. Basically a smaller and smarter version of the Ogren. These bad boys were bred by the crime families of Necromunda to work the forges and be scary and stuff. Well, that backfired pretty hard as the Goliaths rose up against their masters, killed a bunch of them, then established themselves as their own independent gang. Whoops. There are a number of others such as the Pelasgers and the Neanders, however their only mutations are ones that were essential for their survival on their own planets, and if they leave said planet, their mutations more or less turn them into a vegetable due to how specialised they are, so they aren't really worth knowing much about because there's nothing to know. A good way to find out about the Imperium's current level of racial tolerance is to see how their Abhumans are treated. Are they sent in on suicidal missions and turned into scapegoats whenever something goes wrong, or do they share a good pint with their commissar and give out N-word passes to their mates? And that does us for today, guys, the Abhumans of the Imperium. If there are other Abhumans that I missed and deserve a mention here, then comment them down below. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be, where only $1 per month gives you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai, including this new smexy Imperial fist artwork. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more abnormal content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.